Yep, so here we are. Another day at the lake. This time I'm going to do this, I tried to do that live thing, and kudos to those guys that can just throw up a live stream and just start talking to nobody. Not much different than this, I guess. But this is how I've been doing them, so. Actually, the biggest reason I really wanted to try the live stream thing this morning was because of energy, to be perfectly honest with you. For years now, probably since about 2012, been cruising different chat rooms, listening to different takes on things. Met a lot of you in different chat rooms. And one of the earlier chat rooms that I frequented every day was old Bobby at Maverick over there, Relentless Maverick. I liked his format. He opened up a chat. People could come together, share ideas without ridicule. I turned on YouTube this morning to see who was live, and I'm not gonna throw names around. It's not important, because you guys can see the same thing regardless of who you're watching on YouTube. Different channels fighting over different things. I'm I actually have a wrench. A wrench, right? In several chat rooms, and one of the chat rooms that I have a wrench in, that guy doesn't think anything like me. For example, I'm a firm believer in the Mandela effect, and I know what causes it. Now, other people don't have to believe in that. I see things through a different set of eyes, as you can tell from my videos. But, in my last video, let's throw this one past you to talk about some out-of-the-box thinking, right? In my last video, I talked about the gaseous giants that are out there, and they are potentially solar systems that are here with us, right? Because all life as we know it, not as we know it, because I'm looking at it right now, right? I'm in it. But, as it was designed originally, we'll put it that way, was destroyed. That's why in the realm of as above, so below that they want to talk to you about, we're still in the below. Aren't people like dying in this realm and trying to get to heaven, right? So that upper realm, and that's all it is. It's a dimensional shift. That's like people don't really believe in the mud floods. Well, how can you look at all the different maps that have been floated past us and not understand that the continents have changed? Because here's the big kicker. Every time we go through a dimensional shift, just like when you die, everything goes back to the earth, right? Everything goes back to the earth. And it stays in that dimension. Okay, that's why people say we've been here before. We've been in this dimension. All this stuff was built already once. We just did it going down, and now we're coming back through it, coming up. The first will be last, right? So that's why we're in the bodies. Here's another one. People will tell you, you're just a spirit having a human experience. Really. Now let's stop and think about that one. If you're part of the omnipresent, all-knowing universe, and you see what's going on here, and people will tell you, yeah, you got to have your memory wiped to come here, and you forget who you are, and all this other crap, right? You got to find your way back out. Really, that's that's what God had in store for us, right? To blank us out, drop us on a twisted rock, and find our way out. No, I don't. See, I don't believe that, because me personally, knowing what goes on down here, you know, I've had questions about this place ever since I got here, quite honestly. As far back as my memory goes, I have always had questions about this realm. Why are things the way they are? Period. I never understood why people... Think about that. Work for a living. Come on now. You're trading all your energy in for dollars, right? Money is the root of all evil. You know, so now... And that's the thing that kills me. You've got people out there talking about, you know, oh, I just want things to go back to normal. And as things loosen up, you hear people cheering, yeah, we're going to be able to do this. They have already told you through the past couple of years, things are not going back to normal. Now you have all the New World Order people saying, oh, because they're ushering in the New World Order. Well, there again, if you don't know the New World Order's been in charge of this place for a long time, then yeah, you're liable to think that. Hold on a second. Hey, Maisie, come on, baby. Let's get... That's a bluff. Let's get away from there. Come on. Your trail's up here. Let's go. Come on. Quick rattle of the car keys and she'll be running. She doesn't want me to leave her. This newest dog, Maisie, she's a rescue. She just turned 3 in March. And I'm already her 4th owner. That little girl's been through a lot. Gotten from a breeder, actual AKC registered dog. I think she was abandoned, left in a cage, because if I go to Walmart, she's more than happy to walk in there with me until I grab a shopping cart. As soon as I put my hands on a shopping cart, she runs. So I think there's a cage issue somewhere in her past, and she's got some scarring on her nose, and she's got a chunk that was missing out of her hip, that right hip. You can't tell there's anything wrong. It's such an old wound. It's all healed over right here. And she's still a pup. So, I mean, whatever happened to her at a young age. But anyhow, let's get back to the subject at hand, the apocalypse. So, and this is a comment I left in somebody's chat. You know, life is a puzzle, right? So you can either play preschool and get the puzzle that's got, you know, 4 or 5 big pieces that kind of fit together real easy and you can see those. Or you can get the advanced puzzle that's got 5,000 pieces and try to sort that one out, right? Because even in that book, it talks about heaven has multiple rooms, right? Everybody's talking about their room is being prepared. Well, what does every room have? It's a doorway. When one door closes, another door opens. Same kind of thing there. They're just... And doorways are also portals, right? So to speak. So, yeah, heaven, whatever you want to call it, that other dimension, the reality, this isn't reality. In reality, there are different dimensions, just like there are here. It's all based on consciousness. Birds of a feather flock together. We talked about this, about drawing our circles, right? You know, and that's the thing about it is, Earth is going to do her thing. Okay, she's leaving this realm with or without us. And it's going to be with us. Okay, it just depends on which room you're going to go to when we go to reality. If you can't think past certain things, how are you ever going to build a world past that? It is what it is. So why do I feel we're in the apocalypse? Well, there again, you know, we're just going to keep walking down this path like we have been, okay? And it's this big old path here called life. And it's just going to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And then just, like I said, in the blink of an eye, when we leave this dimension, you know, people say, well, why do we need a new heaven and new earth? Hello, have you looked at this earth? Do you know the systems that are laid on this earth? You know, I've talked about that in other videos, these things called roads. If you really think that an omnipresent, having a physical experience, which is what this is, we're all connected, we just have our own individual little piece. Okay, that is why 2 heads, you know, I've talked about this. 2 heads are better than 1, 5 heads are better than 2, because the more of those little God particles you put together, the bigger the picture you can paint, right? That's why there's division. That's because they know this. Okay? It is what it is. Because there again, you know, if you're perfectly happy where you're at as a spirit, because that's just one part of us being spirit. You know, I've had 2 different out-of-bodies experience in my life. I couldn't tell you how I did either one of them, and both times when I awoken from them, I thought I was having a dream. So one of them was an actual, I'm pretty sure, spirit out of body. It happened at like 3 in the morning. And this is why people say that, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, is the witch's hour, according to the Bible and all your church thumpers. But if everything is completely reversed here and upside down, backwards, inverted, 3 in the morning would be like the middle of the afternoon in reality. And quite honestly, the closer we get to this, I find more and more of myself switching over to being up through the night and finding myself tired and taking naps through the day. Yeah, there's energies, there's all kinds of stuff going on, right? We are walking multiple timelines because we're going backwards, but at the same time, you know, the apocalypse is the unveiling, right? So, you know, when did the apocalypse start? If you follow the timeline from when the apocalypse started, they're actually showing you how everything went south. You know, I talked about that in one of my videos. It's, you know, in the water, they tainted the water. Real subtle changes made to us. Nobody picked up on it, but it made us highly susceptible to suggestion. And they tell you that evil can only whisper in your ear, can't really do nothing to you, right? But we can be led along by suggestion. You know, and everybody is. That's what, you know, that's what that whole MK Ultra thing is all about. Everyone's been monarched, so to speak. And if you look at like the Madonna video where she's, you know, thrusting a tree out of her hoochie and then it turns into a serpent by the end of the video, again, you know, Mother Earth was the tree of life and it was turned into something twisted, just like us. You know, but I see people, yeah, I don't put any energy, even the Johnny Depp trial. Yeah, I watch part of it because there's stuff going on in the world you have to pay attention to, right? And they'll show you little things in there if you're paying attention and you can think outside the box well enough, abstractly. And the funny thing about all this is all the Bible thumpers in the world, you know, they can sit there and tell me I'm preaching blasphemy and I'm going to hell and all this other crap that I've been told forever. But you know what? They don't have to worry about me, do they? I'm the only one that's responsible for my soul and my spirit, right? Just as is everybody. So the out-of-body experience that I had one time was a spiritual thing, I do believe, because it happened, like I said, sometime between 1 and 3 in the morning. I was a young lad still living at home, and the house was dark, okay? We didn't have night lights and all that other crap. The house was dark, and my bedroom was in the back corner of the finished basement. So you couldn't even get a street light in there. I mean, it was dark. Yet when I left my body and went cruising around the house, it was lit up everywhere I went. Okay, I could see. I couldn't touch nothing because I wasn't in the physical form. Okay. And then the other out-of-body experience I had, it was nothing like that at all. I just had a vision of a Native American standing with a campfire behind him. He was aglow from the campfire. And we weren't there together very long. And you remember those old, I guess back in the 70s, 80s, the football games, they were like a vibrating table. You put all the people on it and the table vibrated and they bounced around and moved. Well, that's what this guy started doing. He just started shaking violently and he started motioning to me to go back. So I did. I woke up. And that was like at 1:30 in the morning, and all I could think about was, what kind of crazy dream was that? I'm sitting there talking with a native, and everything starts vibrating and whatever, right? Put it in the book, so to speak, and go back to bed. Well, I woke up the next morning and got the overnight news. And that coincidentally, which I don't believe in coincidences, was the same time that, excuse me, and this would have been 5 years ago, something like that, when Alaska had that first 8.5 or whatever earthquake that made the news, right? 5-6 years ago. So that was like an astral projection, and I put myself there. These are the capabilities that we have. And I'm pretty sure that these are the capabilities that we have that we can use at will, but that's part of what's been taken away from us. Is our ability to do that stuff. And they use it. So, and getting back to, the other solar systems that are out there, look at the Georgia Guidestones. Everybody's freaking over the Georgia Guidestones. Oh, keep the population between, 300 and 500 million, it says. And then all your conspiracy theorists, all your truth finders, oh, this is their plan. They want to kill, 90% of us. Well, no, if you go back and watch one of my videos, and I talk about the movie They Live and how they're amongst us. Okay, so how many colors of skin and races of being are there on Earth? Approximately 5, right? And you have the 4 gaseous planets plus Earth. That makes 5. There's 5 walks of people down here. There's 5 systems that are being restored down here. We all live together here, together. That's where the new heaven... Oh, girl, you just chased up a deer that you missed. I'm glad you didn't see her. You'd be running right now. You didn't see that deer go running off over there, baby? Here, come over here. Let's get back out of these weeds. Come on. So, but that's why we're going to have not a new heaven. That realm is there. Heavens overhead. Because I'm pretty sure when all this shakes out, we're no longer going to be staring at Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune in our sky. We'll have our sun back and things how they originally were. There's people, just like because time is running backwards, and I firmly believe that. And I've showed it in some other videos, but, there's people out there because they don't believe that, and I'm good enough to comment on their videos and and they know who I am. I visit their chat rooms, but if I mention anything about time running backwards or what's really going on, they don't even answer. It's just like you don't exist. And those people tell you, oh, time can only go forward, it's linear. Well, apparently you don't know God then. If he can do anything, Why can't he run time backwards to correct what happened? Because those people obviously think that they are human when we are not. You know, you've got the whole Q crowd over there waiting for their med beds and everything else. They don't understand that we can heal our own bodies. We don't need a med bed. If you're human, you might need a med bed, but oh, that's just the way I look at it, though. I don't, I try not to fall victim, if you will, to the confines and the boxes. You know, that's quite honestly, that's why we're fighting over borders right now. Earth, in its original design with us here, we didn't have borders, but because we're all here and different systems are represented, okay, and that's probably through the use of countries. We're establishing those borders, those boundaries, right? That's just how I look at it. Because there are people that don't think like us. Good girl, come on. So anyway, so yeah, I even watched part of the Johnny Depp thing. And oddly enough, he had some alpacas show up there, didn't he? Some fans brought some alpacas, which is, come on, alpaca, apocalypse. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, there's signs in the heavens, there's signs here, but like I said, we're just going to keep walking down a road, and then one day we're not. And the people who don't believe in Mandela effects, that think that's just another psyop, they'll be in for a big surprise. Or maybe they won't, because they don't believe in none of this, and they might wind up in a realm very similar. I don't know how any of this works. You know, we could be building all these below realms just for them to stay and live in, if they like death and wars and everything so much. I mean, but I don't see that happening. I think everybody will go to their space. My space. There's one of those out there in the world, right? Just like the cloud. Like I said, every single thing that is part of the system down here, your phones, your cars, all that stuff, we have a natural ability to either do that within us, or the stuff that we actually do build is done naturally. And you know, if you look at, there's some ancient structures that are buried in the sands, and I don't remember where, and I hate to get this wrong, but I think it's India. And there's a structure that is as glamorous as anything you will see on this earth. It's made completely out of rock. There's no tool marks in it, and it's an entire like living structure full of rooms and everything, and it's all made out of one rock. With no tool marks. Now, how do you think that happened? Because we did it with our hands, using energy and frequency and vibration. And I wouldn't even know where to guide people to find those kind of things. It's just, like I said, I've spent, well, since 2012, I think, is what my YouTube description thing. So, and that's what brought me to YouTube, was looking for answers, and the only reason I did YouTube was because my kids were familiar with it, and I thought, well, let's check it out. And I've met a lot of people here, and this is why I like the live chats. Like I said, you had Bobby over there, and people would get together. Same thing with Freedom Grower. You know, Freedom Grower kind of picked that up, and he was out every morning. And I'm the kind of person that I can go into a chat room and I can feel the energy of the chat. Some people can. Some people say, really, you can feel that. Whatever. It is what it is, right? I know what I know. I know how I feel. So, you know, I like live chats just for that reason, because people coming together, even through the devices, we're connected. We're connected outside those devices too. You know, this isn't posted to YouTube yet. I'm still walking around the woods here with my dog talking into it. So we're not connected through this medium right now, but I'm still connected to everybody just being here. Okay, we're all connected in one fashion or another. You know, that's the whole point of all this, right? I mean, even the other worlds that are here with us. That's the whole point of all this. That's why everybody wants world peace, correct? Because world peace translates into universal peace. That's why everybody keeps saying the best is yet to come. This ain't nothing, people. Even, you know, the Bible even talks about, if you want to go to that book, even vanity is vanity. It's all in vanity. Even the good is in vanity, right? Because it's not real. I've done plenty of good down here. I've done plenty of bad down here, or so some people would say it's bad. But there again, I lived a life. That's what we're supposed to do. If somebody tells you you can't do something for whatever reason, that's probably all the more reason just to go out and do it. You know, there's there's a lot to be gained by crossing thresholds of fear and just living your life, period. And that's how we were originally developed. And so, you know, you can watch the play out. You can either take part of it or not. I choose not to take part of any of it. That's why I spend all my time in places like this. Because this is the best place. You know, if I'm not busy at the house and in a good YouTube chat room where I'm feeling the energy, then this is the first and foremost place right here. I mean, I spend, and it isn't just this place. I do come here quite a bit. There's lots of room for Miss Maisie here to just be off her leash and run. Hell, there's back over there, there's a whole trail. Goes for miles. Usually she likes to walk that, so I'm kind of surprised we're not there yet today. But I do think we're in the apocalypse. You know, there's a lot being said about June 6th, because that's 666, and I've been kind of thinking about this for about a week now. And in the Bible, I keep telling people that, you know, we are the beasts of the Bible. We are the Antichrist, right? In this particular form. And the number of man is 666, and it's going to be the rise of the Antichrist, which I keep saying is the same as ascension in Hopi prophecy. Everybody's got similar books because we all come from the same universe and we're all here together. Does that make a little more sense? And I've been trying to tell people who that Bible is really for. And there is stuff to get out of the Bible because, you know, there's a lot of truth in there. There's a lot of history in there, okay? And that's the problem, right? It's all his story. And that's why it's all written in parables or paraphrasing. Because even that book isn't, you know, this is all, again, getting back, you can pick the preschool puzzle, or you can go after the big box that's got 10,000 pieces in it and try to put the whole thing together. You know, I gave up the preschool puzzle a long time ago. Probably at the age of 5, whenever it was that I ran out of the Roman Catholic Church screaming, and that's what everybody says, oh, well, it's the Roman Catholic. Really? You know, they all go from the same book. You know, that whole movement of the Protestants against the Roman Catholic, those are the same people. It's all controlled by the Vatican. People were tired of the Roman Catholic way, and they said, okay, well, you know, we'll let you form this church over here, but they kept them in the same book and the same system, didn't they? And it progressed on down the line today to what do we got? I don't know, I heard we have like 114 different denominations, right? Different versions of the same book to keep you in the game, period. And here's another stone throwing thing, whatever you want to call it, blasphemous statement, I don't care. You know, if that Jesus character was so good, okay, why was he not in the Old Testament? And people will say, yeah, it was a different age, it was a different time, they believed. Yeah, it was. It was a rather dark, that whole book, set of books, is dark, right? You've got death, destruction, kids being, you know, firstborn children being killed over some, you know. Let me let you in on another little secret. Everybody today talks about the woke and the unwoke, right? You know, whatever happened to the term sheeple? Because, you know, what is a young sheep? It's a lamb. So the blood of the lamb, you know, reread your book, and every time you hear that crap, just insert the phrase adrenochrome. Because that is what the blood of our children are to them, right? I know that's going to shock a bunch of you, and probably not anybody's going to watch this video. That's the thing, right? This is why I enjoy the chat rooms that I get into, and I follow the channels that I follow. And it doesn't even have to be a real truther channel, just so long as the vibe is good and people are getting along and they're not fighting and dissing one another. I mean, I spent off and on 10-15 minutes in and out of this one chat room to see what he's going to talk about next. And, you know, people who believe in the Mandela effect and are talking about it are part of the problem. So that makes me part of the problem, but I have a wrench in his room. See, it's just, and like I said, at the same time, he says, you know, I'll listen to all points of view. Well, you're not listening to all points of view if you're telling the people that know about Mandela effects and understand what's going on that they're part of the problem. That's not keeping a very open mind, in my opinion. You know, that's part of that. I don't judge anybody. I don't even judge the people. You know, here's another thing to think about too. Okay, so, and I know I reference movies, and not everyone has seen these movies, but if you look at Star Trek, The Search for Spock, okay, so the Wrath of Khan has already occurred, and in that movie they talk about little creatures put in the bodies that wrap around the cerebral cortex that make people highly susceptible to suggestion. It's symbolism. It's out there, and Star Trek's full of symbolism, all right? If you picture the Earth as the Enterprise, housing all its different nationalities, it's got shields, right? And there was the original, then there was, you know, you had NC 1701, NC 1701A, B, C, they're on D, 5, which is how many cataclysms we've been through, supposedly. We're getting ready to go through number 6, right? 6 is the number of man, 666, which very well could be our ascension date, because the beast is going to rise. Satan's already been here. He's all in that first set of books, the Old Testament. Okay? I'm just saying. Again, you can, you know, everybody's allowed their own opinion. They're and that's what it is. It's free thought. So telling me that my free thought is part of the problem, again, I'm sorry, but you're still working on the preschool puzzle. You know, that's just like people who say, well, you know, NASA in Hebrew means deceit. Well, yeah, it does. And are they deceiving us about what they're showing us? Well, yeah, but let me put it to you this way. Take another perspective. If they've been in charge to correct things, and we do live on a carcass that is just a plane of existence for now, is the earth supposed to be round? Because if it is, and every single person on this planet drawing their pictures has a round earth there, don't they? Because that's what they think. You know, Hebrew, Greek, you can look up whatever language you want to look up. It's still a language. It's still a form of division. So, you know, if you're going to sit there and quote Greek and Hebrew and say this is the real deal here, well, you're still playing with the preschool puzzle, I hate to tell you. Yeah, there's all these definitions and these translations, and that's all it is. It's all part of the big puzzle. Consciousness, right? Christ consciousness. We've talked about this. That's all it stands for. Getting our brains back. Being able to see good from bad. Having our boundaries. Right? So, let's see. Talked about the alpacas. Man, I think I pretty much covered everything I really wanted to cover on this whole apocalypse thing. So there again, you know, is something going to happen on the 6th going into the 7th, or the 5th going into the 6th maybe? Because, you know, people live in 2 different days in this realm, right? There's, here in the US, it's, you know, 1 day, and over in Europe, it's another day already. But I see everything. I see all the time stamps coming through here where I live. So, you know, it could be on the day that we're, you know, I don't know. And that gets back into that whole expectation thing, right? I anticipate all kinds of things when this goes down. And it's just going to go down. You're not going to have a sign. You're already getting the signs. It's not, you know, yeah. Now, the book does talk about everyone being dropped to a knee. And like I said, that interaction between the 3 suns, it's all energy. And chances are we'll feel it in our chest, our gut, right? And it may drop us down. You know, who knows? Who knows? There again, I don't expect anything. I anticipate a lot. Because let me tell you something. If it were based off of just stuff that I expected us to be out of here a while ago. And some of you guys probably even already know that too. So what am I going to do? Wake up bummed every day because I'm still here? No. Life is good, regardless of where we live it. It's not the life you live, you know, whether you're in a box or a mansion. It's how you live life. You know, what put you into that mansion? Did you have to screw over a bunch of people and da-da-da-da-da? Well, you see what I'm saying? Doesn't matter where you live, it's how you live. We've talked about this before too. It's not so much, yeah, you can benefit your body greatly by paying attention to what goes into it, but you know, if you really know what's up, it's all garbage that we're putting in our body, right? I mean, so it's not about anything that comes into us. It's about what we project into the world. You know, I can stand in the living room where there's a whole family fighting over something, and I don't have to say a word. I just sit there and soak in all the energy. I feel it, and then I turn it into something positive with a smile. And usually, even though they may be not happy when I get there and arguing about stuff, everybody's smiling when I leave, and that's the name of the game. That's how you transmute the energy, right? You shrug it off. You take it in, see it for what it is, and shrug it off. It's not my circus, not my monkeys. Period. But just like with any other video, you know, maybe somebody got something out of it, maybe they didn't. Like I said, this is all stuff I wanted to try and do live this morning, but you know, if you have tons of subscribers and you get a bunch of people jumping in wanting to talk as soon as you go live, that's one thing. But when you're kind of sitting there staring at a blank screen, you know, I can do it just like I am here. It is what it is. Oh, it's wonderful though. It is a beautiful day out here. I'll be spending much of today in different locations around this lake just because that's what I do. But I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I love you all, and just stay brave, right? That's all we can do at this time, and just see it for what it is. All right, love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.